Suzuto-san, that wasn't one of the great deductions I've been hearing so much about, was it? Well, the stories are full of Mr. Sholmes' brilliant deductions, you know. But that did seem a little different somehow. Excuse me, Mr. Shlomes, could you come over here a moment? Pray, what can I do for you? It's about your deductions. Would you mind? Not at all, go on. Well, to start with, there's the newspaper article. I think we had the same discussion before, but, these two men look nothing alike each other. Ah, yes, I recall our discussion earlier. And at the time, I believe I told you that the man is a revolutionary. Well able to revolutionize his own appearance. Not that much. In fairness to Mr. Shlomes, Mr. Roylott does look more like this man than you do. That's not the point. And another thing. What about him abducting the ballerina? Indeed, a truly startling revelation. At first glance, the case would appear too small to accommodate a young woman. Not just at first glance, it is too small. Clearly. You'd be looking to fit a 5-year-old child into that case, and if you push really hard. I don't suppose this missing ballerina is a 5-year-old child, is she? You mean you don't know? No, the young lady is 15. No, I didn't know. How could I? Well, if she's 15, the 10 years worth of her would be poking out from the case. Some years ago I read something pertinent, I believe. A troop of men consuming vinegar daily were to promote a certain liveliness in their bodies. Liveliness? Vinegar. For such a sour bunch, it would surely be simplicity itself to contort oneself into the confines of that small case. Oh dear, you might be thinking of contortionists in the circus, Mr. Shlomes. Now this whole thing is turning into a circus. Mr. Naruhodo, something's occurred to me about Mr. Shlomes' deductions just now. I think his powers of observation are, well, magical. His eyes cut to the heart of the matter almost instantly. It's just the way he directs his attention and his logic that seem a little off. Yeah, it's like he's not wrong on things, it's just... Again, that's the problem with abduction. It's like he's... like, this guy's not as good as Sherlock Holmes, let's put it like that. It's like his abduction skills are askew. The idea of a little, maybe a little off itself, Miss Suzuto. It's just one or two key words in his deductions that seem to let him down. I was wondering, we might perhaps tactfully switch them for alternatives. What do you think? Switch some key words in his deductions. Yes, but very tactfully. I feel sure if we could do that, we'd unlock the true genius of Mr. Shlomes' great deduction. Precisely the thought that was going through my own mind. This man is a lot of work. At times I wonder how anyone puts up with me. It's not that funny. And you, my good fellow. Sorry? Take a moment to look at your wrists. My wrists? When did that happen? What are your handcuffs? Huh? How did... I felt they may hinder your ability to follow me in our dance of deduction. Don't believe it. Mr. Shlomes, you are a marvel. And don't worry, I shall restore the shackles to your wrists when we are finished. I'm not worried. In fact, I'd rather stay like this. So, let us begin. Sherlock Shlomes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Shlomes! So what we got then? So the dubious-looking Russian, Mr. Roylott, obviously. What catches the eye in the first place? What do I do here? history, court record. Like, can I interrupt or anything? It's the enormous pair of shears in your hand. I wonder if it's going to be like a witness testimony, you have to go through it once or something. Now we ask ourselves, what could you possibly want with such an implement? And the answer, of course, is staring us in the face. You're on the verge of using the shears to cut away the copious beard you sport. Oh, hello. I'm not sure. Would you really use shears like that to cut off a beard? No, you would not. I doubt that's something I'll have to worry about. Doesn't quite sit right with me, though. Doesn't seem to be sitting right with Mr. Roylett either. Which means, I suppose, that the deduction is wrong. Let's try to switch a key word here, Naruhodo-san, and see if that helps matters. Alright, but how? I think we should start by taking a long, hard look at Mr. Roylett. What if it's really his beard they intended to use those shears on? Exactly. I do manage to find something that seems to fit the sense of Mr. Shlomes' deduction better. Then what? And I'll have to leave the rest in your capable hands, Naruhodo-san. Why am I the one to do something about this? Well, anyway, let's see if there's anything we could even use to switch around in the last sentence. What exactly was Mr. Roylett really going to use those enormous shears for? Okay. Oh. So, yeah, we're right on the money then. It's like, probably the hair. Like her actual hair then. I think that... I cannot zoom out and get a better idea of like what's going on here. Because I would like some more stuff, so...
Yes!
Golden locks. You're on the verge of using the shears to cut away the golden locks you sport. Indeed, you have identified the precise detail I was intending to expose. Such lush, golden hair certainly does not befit an old man. You're not a man at all, you're a woman. Judging from the length and sheen of your hair, one still very much in her youth. Oh no. If only I'd managed to cut off my hair, no one would have suspected. The question then begged is this: why would you desire to rid yourself of these magnificent locks? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolutionary. Nope, that's the one that's wrong. Well, that was a shock. I had no idea the old man was really a young woman in disguise, did you? Kind of obvious. What else would it be at this point? What are you staring at me like that? Yes, it was a surprise, Naruhodo-san. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Sorry? You look like you're in your element as you dance around the room, deducing the facts with Mr. Shlomes. Just doing what we agreed. I'm not having fun or anything. This is strictly business. Yes, I understand. Say no more. Well, anyway, let's focus on this next part of Mr. Shlomes' deduction, shall we? The evidence that he's picked out doesn't fit the facts at all now. No, that's true, given that Mr. Roylett is actually a woman. Exactly. He, or rather, she, can't possibly be this merciless revolutionary. This is because of the deduction as a whole. It's taken a different direction now. Yes. Let's switch the evidence for something else. Something that fits the facts as we now understand them. For some reason, this woman needed to try to hide her true identity. I feel as though I've either read or heard about a young woman in a situation like that recently. Alright, do my best. Well, it's that then.
Yes!
The evidence that reveals your true identity is, of course, the article about the ballerina. That's right. You hit the nail on the head. Renowned prima ballerina of the Nova Ballet disappears from Shanghai. It would appear we are finally able to address you by your true name. Yes, because your true identity is that of the Novich Ballet's prima ballerina. Miss Nikolina Pavlova. Ugh. Oh, she just stabbed herself. Oh, did as well. Good job, it's the hat. Ooh. I could have taken the earrings off. You're right. My real name is Nikolina Pavlova. But please, I beg you, don't tell anyone. There we go. Solved. Well, it can't be that now. Now, as for my second conclusion. You are, at this very moment, on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime, over there. Oh yes, Miss Pavlova. Taken unawares, people have a propensity to let their eyes stray, you see? And I assure you, the eyes speak so much more eloquently, and honestly, than the mouth. The answer we seek lies where the furtive glance falls. The proof of your crime sits before our eyes. Yes, the traveling case. The woman is the ballerina, and she's right in front of our eyes. So clearly she can't be inside that traveling case as well. No, that's right. Seems she wasn't abducted at all. In which case, what is the crime this young woman is apparently committing? I can see I'm going to have to step in and fix the great detective's mistake again. Seem to look pleased now, Hoda-san. Do you like the idea of another chance to dance around with Mr. Shlomes? Stop it. Anyway, must be something else here that shows what this woman is up to. Okay, so... It's a very small case, isn't it? You can see instantly that no person can possibly fit inside there. So does that tell us that Miss Pavlova's telling glance in this direction was focused on something else? It's true, though. It doesn't make sense. What do you mean? Well, if there's nothing incriminating inside the case, why did she refuse to let us look inside? Yes, I wonder why. Hope she has a perfectly harmless reason, though. Let's see, like, hold on a minute. It's like, I just saw this, like, slight thing. It's like, there we go. That's what she's... Yes! That's what she's showing. Well, looking at, anyway. The proof of your crime is surely this tiara. I believe this tiara is worn on stage by dancers in the Novich Ballet, is it not? Indeed. It would appear to be identical to the tiara pictured here in this newspaper article. If the reporting is to be believed, it's an item worth 20,000 rubles. In summary, the crime you've committed is theft. Oh no. Yes, you left your ballet troupe, unlawfully taking their precious tiara with you. Well... I have no one. No family, no friends. I am all alone and I need money. I did not steal the tiara. It was a present from, how do you say, an Earl of Prussia? It belongs to me. This girl is only 15 years old and she's run away all by herself. She must have been extremely lonely. Alright. I will tell you everything. There is no point in hiding it now. Come, come, let us not be hasty. What? There remains one unsolved mystery about you. Mystery? What do you mean? You have staunchly refused to open this traveling case of yours in our presence. It has to be a snake, then. It is reasonable to conclude, therefore, that there exists some reason why you wish it to remain closed. Is that not so, Miss Pavlova? My dear girl, there is no sense in playing games with me. Nothing escapes my attention. Indeed, I have a very good idea of the contents of your case, even before I have laid eyes on them. Dear me. We are not well suited to a life of crime, are we? Your careless coup de duel betrays you. I'm just thinking, because of the plate on the floor, I'm thinking like maybe it's actually a cat or something. Once again, we need only follow your furtive glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason why you refuse to open your case is it's written on the books on the shelf. What? He's completely changed tack with his deduction now. I think Mr. Shlomes is adapting his logic to changing circumstances, don't you? Maybe, but why has he suddenly brought the bookshelf into all of this? It's just a wild guess. Surely. Oh, do you think so? It doesn't seem likely that the reason why this young woman doesn't want to open her case would have been written in a book that doesn't even belong to her. Yes, that's true, but still. Miss Pavlova certainly did cast her eyes in that direction. I noticed it myself. Yeah, and if it's the same layout as the previous room, it's going to have that caution thing, isn't it? What was it? It was like no pets. It's like if it's a snake or a cat, that's a pet. There has to be another reason why she won't open her case. It must be somewhere in the same area if that's where her gaze was involuntarily drawn. I agree, that's the only answer. Whatever she has hidden inside that case should be revealed by following her gaze in the direction of the bookcase. Yeah, it's gonna be this. These are the rules of passage for traveling aboard the SS Berge. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. This is the thing with the weapons, it's like... kind of had Kazuma's sword. There's exactly the same notice in our cabin too. I wonder what happens if you break the rules. Oh dear. I thought the punishment would be severe, Naruhodo-san. Yeah, because that's 2 rooms that have got 2 rules broken now. You'd probably be left adrift in the freezing cold ocean, or shut inside a tiny wardrobe for days on end. So I've actually been serving time for weeks now. Have I? Well, it's clearly that.
Yes!
Yes, the reason why you refuse to open your case is written in the rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. Inside the case of yours is something forbidden from carriage on this vessel. That is the real reason why you refuse to open it, thus revealing its contents. As we've seen, the trunk wobbles from time to time, but no weapon or other dangerous item would move on its own accord. Which leaves but one possibility, Miss Pavlova. Inside your traveling case is the last item listed as forbidden in the vessel's rules of passage. A pet. Oh yes, fix your hat, of course. Prohibited animal, oh my. Elementary. So clearly you aren't who you said you were. No, I am not Grimsby Roylott. My real name is Nikolina Pavlova. Everything you said was correct. You absconded during one of your ballet company's performances in order to escape your homeland. Later that same night, you stole aboard this vessel. Which couldn't have been easy. Burye is a huge steamship with a vast crew. Could she really have snuck on board without being noticed? In order to obscure your true identity, you somewhat recklessly took the guise of an old gentleman. And you intended to sever all links with your past by severing your long hair. Yet to a woman, hair is no trifling matter. My personal recommendation is to leave well alone. So, if it was just you about to cut off your own hair, was it that let out that scream we heard from outside the cabin? A veritable tinkling of a bell. Why, none other than this young lady, naturally. More like a full set of pipes, if you ask me. I was so scared when I ran away in Shanghai. I was sure they would come looking for me. That's why I decided to, how do you say, disguise myself? So no one would recognize me. Disguise. As a result, you transform yourself into that questionable old man, I see. I put on the fur hat and fake beard. Then just before you came in here, I saw in the newspaper. Right on the page, there was a picture of me. I was so frightened I couldn't stop from screaming. I knew that if I didn't change my appearances completely, they would find me. So I decided to cut all my hair as fastly as possible. I picked up the scissors in my hand and... at the precise moment, we walked in through the annoyingly unlocked cabin door. Things happen like that sometimes, don't they? Things do indeed happen like that, from time to time. Those two even talking about the same thing. And there's just one more thing I'd like to know. What exactly do you have inside your traveling case? You were right. It's my dear friend inside, my only friend in the whole world. Please, don't tell anyone. The captain finds out. If you say to any of the crew. Your secret is safe with us, I assure you. But in return, you must tell us in as much detail as you can muster about the events of last night. Yes, all right. I will tell you. Well, Mr. Naruhodo? Wasn't it something, Mr. Shlomes' great deduction? Certainly something, yes. Just not entirely sure what. At least Miss Pavlova has agreed to tell us what she knows. That's incredible. Indeed, it is incredible. Ah, and one more thing. Oh, yes, what? Observe your wrists. My... oh, god damn it. There, your hands are cuffed again. What? But how? True to my word, I have restored your shackles. When and why? There is still a shadow of guilt cast over you, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm sorry to say, it can't be helped at the moment. Got it? Really? Anyway, let's listen to what Miss Pavlova has to say. I can't go on not knowing. I have to find out what the speckled band that Kazuma-sama wrote about in his diary really was. Alright, let's converse. What happened last night? Did you know that someone was killed in the cabin next door to this one last night? One of the crewmen told me this morning when I was eating breakfast. The man who died, he was a friend of mine. Oh. That's why we're trying to find out what happened. Did you notice anything unusual last night? Perhaps you heard a strange noise, for example. Perhaps people talking? Perhaps the ship was absorbed in a wild tempest. Perhaps its steam engine exploded. Perhaps everyone on board would have noticed if that had happened? Miss Pavlova? Is there anything you can tell us? I don't know. I'm sorry, but all I could think about last night was what I had done and whether they would find me. I didn't notice anything that was happening around me. Oh, I see. Running away. You've run away from your ballet company, haven't you? The Novacich Ballet? Yes. I am traveling to Great Britain, and from there I want to go to America. I will never dance again. I want to forget everything about the ballet. I will start a new life. You wish to forget? A challenging proposition. When you have that striking tiara as a reminder. The tiara is mine, I need it to live. I have no money of my own. The Novich Ballet gives us only a little food and water. I must dance all over the world. I had to run away. I had no choice. If I stayed, it would have killed me. So you ran away to protect yourself? Yes. And the crew of the ship, they have all been kind to me. They let me come on board and they said I could hide in this cabin. You'd think they'd let you get away with a pet then. If that is indeed the truth, Miss Pavlova, it's a most intriguing conundrum. Yes, it does. What do you think about it, Mr. Naruhodo? Me? Oh, well, yes, of course. I think we should hear Miss Pavlova's explanation. What conundrum, I'm not sure, but... To me, it's because of the friend situation. Miss Pavlova, allow me to pose you a riddle. According to this newspaper, it was only yesterday that you absconded from the ballet. Now, that being the case, it must have been last night that you boarded this vessel. However, the SS Berger stopped by no port last night. Ah, that's it, of course. So how is it, pray, that you come to be on board? Now that I think about it, the crewman outside the cabin acted very strangely when we mentioned that. It's just after we asked him about when the occupant of this cabin came aboard. It is not your business. Yes, you're right. Did seem to be hiding something. An angel descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to the stage. Sorry? What was that? Is how the Russian newspaper described one of my performances. And that is how I came here, too. I descended from the heavens because I am an angel. Considering English isn't your mother tongue, your description is very vivid. Mr. Shlomes once said, I never can resist a touch of the dramatic. Seems Miss Pavlova is the same. Genius descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to detection. Words once said about myself. A quote from a wonderfully extravagant advertisement for the adventures of Herlock Sholmes, in fact. Yes, Mr. Shoei. Anyway, it doesn't look like Miss Pavlova is going to tell us what really happened. It's got to do with this friend, it's gotta be. So, the friend you mentioned is inside your travelling case, is that right? I don't think animals are allowed on board according to the rules of passage. Oh, please, don't tell any of the crew. They found my precious... Then the burly Russians would bestir themselves in unison to throw you and your case overboard, no doubt. Yay! So reassuring, Mr. Shlomes. But what sort of pet is your friend? A little puppy? It is, isn't it? Maybe an adorable little rabbit. Ah, you credit Russia as a land with small rabbits, do you? Oh, don't they have small rabbits there then? I'm sure they do. You may well ask. I have no idea. You two are miserable bunglers when it comes to understanding the nature of a young ballerina's friends. Isn't it obvious? It must be a chicken. Really? Consider the benefits. A rousing wake-up call, daily fresh eggs, and when adversity strikes, you can satisfy the needs of sustenance. So you'd eat your friends. I'll remember that. It's the plate that's throwing me off on the floor. But it would appear this friend's identity is a closely guarded secret not to be revealed. She obviously doesn't quite trust us yet. There's something I should like to show her, I think. Maybe she might be able to shed some light on it. Okay. But what I think we shall do is actually end this part here, and the next part, do some examining around the place before we see about presenting her with anything, because maybe there's actually something in here we could throw her way, I think is the best way of putting it. So we'll see you in the next part. Ta-da for now.